Sagittarius, how are you? It's me, Anissa from the Inner Stereo, and I'm back again doing your September 2018 readings. So as usual, guys, this is going to be a relationship spread, and you can always apply with anywho. It could be with your friends, family, colleagues, best friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, exes, haters, crushes who don't know you exist, you know. Anywho, I'm basically just going to pick up your relationship energy in general, okay? Oh yeah, by the way, if you're Indonesian or if you understand Bahasa, you should click on this link right here, that's going to show up 5 minutes after I upload this video. So if you kind of like click this right after I upload this video, I'm gonna look like a fool pointing this way, but you can click this. I did a reading in Bahasa. Before you click though, I understand completely that my Bahasa is terrible. Like, I don't know why, but somehow I forgot Indonesian language for some fucked up reason during that reading. But it was a good reading though, because I also discussed about your love life, your family, and then your finance. So if you're Indonesian or you understand Bahasa, click it, okay? So how are you guys doing right now, Sagittarius? How is August so far for you? I mean, how is August for you? Please let me know what happened so that I don't really feel so alone. Because, you know, doing readings, I should have kind of like listened to my own readings, right? Because I did exactly what I told you not to in either your June or your July reading, right? And that is about exhausting my fire. Because in the beginning of August season, I was like, and then by the middle of it, I was like, because I was completely exhausting all my fires in the beginning of the August. And I was like, where does my energy and inspiration went? But yeah, I just want to know how you're doing, okay? But anyway, let's go back to the reading. I ramble too much. So what's your overall energy for the now? You have the Chariot card, you have the Four of Swords, and you also have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Speaking of emotions, speaking of how you feel, you guys are the Queen of Cups right now. It means that you guys are not actually very, very emotionally available. Is there something that, you know, you have the Chariot card here. It means that you do have a direction in which you want to go to, right? You have this destination that seems very, very sparkly and bright and beautiful and interesting and catchy. But regardless of how catchy it is, of how interesting it is, you cannot bring your emotions to be as available as you want it to be. You have the Queen of Cups in reverse here. It means that security-wise, stability-wise, when it comes to emotions, it's not really there. Be careful though, because the Queen of Cups in reverse, because of that emotional void that you're feeling deep inside of you, you will end up being perceived by someone else as an emotional manipulator. Just be careful, okay? There are things that you're kind of like, nah, I don't want to think much about it anymore. I feel like you guys are kind of like over and done with a certain someone because of how they make you feel, and your brain kind of like shuts it down and kind of like impacted in your emotions in general. With the Queen of Cups in reverse, it also talks about emotional instability where you cannot really control your energy. So be very careful about that. I feel like we also always touch base on this ever since either May or April about that unfuckwithable attitude. And with being the Queen of Cups in reverse, you cannot have that unfuckwithable attitude, because you are, if you keep up with this energy, you're just going to be drained throughout September, okay? You have so many challenges, and it could be with challenges from the different types of people. The first one is the Empress card. Okay, let's talk it in a general sense for a bit, because with that emotional void that you're feeling in the now, I feel like emotions is not really something that you want to talk about, although we're going to touch base on that. But if you feel drained, if you feel less inspired, don't let it hamper your self-esteem. Sagittarius are always confident. Great. So it just shuts off by itself because my memory space seems to be out of memory space. But anyway, let's continue. I was talking about the Empress card here. Just because you feel emotionally drained and less inspired doesn't necessarily mean that it has to hamper your self-esteem in some ways. Because I feel like you guys are kind of like questioning your capability to make things happen, if that makes sense. Don't let it do that to you, okay? Because that Queen of Cups energy is already fucked up. Don't add it into you becoming kind of a can I do it? Can I do it? You know, being less optimistic that you guys once were. I mean, Sagittarius are very, very optimistic. I'm one. I know that I'm very optimistic, but sometimes when I feel drained emotionally, when I feel less inspired, I do questions that optimism of mine. Do I, is it going to happen or not? The King of Pentacles as your overall challenge with the Queen of Pentacles also at the same time. I feel like, you guys are dealing with people who are there to take advantage of you. It's either for monetary gain, it's either because they like I don't know why, but I feel like you guys were dealing with an energy vampire, if that makes sense. So they suck your energy dry to make them good. Almost. The Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles is someone who you thought was a wifey material or husband material. Turns out they're not like that. The Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles also know that they are a part of your comfort zone, that there's something that you kind of like rely on them. That they're going to kind of like pull it out as a sort of punishment if you don't obey their rules. I mean, King of Pentacles likes to have, if you're dealing with like an earth sign man, like this King of Pentacles, this person likes to have like a very, very submissive person. I feel like you guys were dealing with someone who actually wants you to kind of like calm down a little and be a little bit submissive towards them. And if you kind of like rebel against them, they're going to kind of like pull away things that you have already been comfortable with, if that makes sense. Things that you kind of like rely on them. Be careful with people with materialistic tendencies or people who are just out there to gain something from you. It could be because you guys are so well connected, right? Sagittarius are very social. So it's either for your connection, it's either for your, brain, it's either for your creativities. These people are very, very much of an energy vampire. And no wonder you guys are kind of like feeling drained like this. Okay, so in the past, the other party have the Fool card in reverse and then the Queen of Swords. So you were dealing with someone who was not willing to take that giant leap of faith with you. Someone who you could possibly have like a lot of conflict with. There's like a lot of battle going on in here. It could be like a lot of differences, a lot of incompatibility. But these things kind of like, I was just, I was just listening to the poem For Women Who Are Difficult to Love, and it kind of like resonated with this reading somehow, because you were dealing with someone, you are a horse running alone, and they try to tame you, compare you to an impossible highway, to a burning house as you are blinding him that he could never leave you, forget you, want anything but you. You dizzy him, you are unbearable. Now I'm reading that poem. But anyway, I feel like that was like it. And them seeing that fiery side of you, them seeing that Sagittarius wild heart of you kind of turned them off in some ways. So they're not willing to take that giant leap of faith. Don't feel sorry for yourself. I mean, if someone cannot accept you during your Saturn transit or your Saturn return or your past Saturn transit, they don't deserve you in your Jupiter transit, which is going to happen in November. Okay? It's about, there was like one comment in my previous video, I think it was my August video, who was talking about that. I think I'm going to pin them after this. But it was so beautiful because we're entering the last degree of Jupiter, and then after that, we're going to go to Jupiter in Sagittarius. So it's like a universe way of cleansing things that is just not good for you. I mean, could you really prosper in a relationship where you cannot be yourself? Where you need to behave, where you need to act certain ways to feel accepted? No. No, 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 no. Okay? And then this person has the audacity to become the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is let's be fair. The Queen of Swords doesn't happen to be the Queen of Swords. The Sword people doesn't happen to be the Swords people because they were born to be the Swords people. And I'm not saying that this person is a bad person, but this person is very cerebral. And the reason for that being is because either they've been burned in the past or they've been hurt badly by you. That's why they're not the Queen of Swords. They want you to come at them. Okay, they want you to kind of like come at them. And even if you were to come at them, it's going to be met by a lot of skepticism. Skepticism, yeah. And you guys are the King of Swords in reverse. You guys are way worse. You guys are way worse. You guys were very, very stubborn. I felt like there was like a lot of rebellion activities going on in here from your side because you could not take it anymore. You cannot pretend to be someone who you're not, Sagittarius. So it was like you were roaring in the past. It's either them or it's either you, because there's like a 7 of Cups in here. It's either them or either you giving like an ultimatum. This is what I want. And if you don't meet this thing, then nah, okay? But it's either you, it's either them. You are also dealing with multiple options at the same time. Okay, so they have the Star card in the now. Queen, the King of Cups, you have the Moon card, you have the Page of Wands. And now you're left to ponder what the hell is going on. You have the Moon card because you've been hurt badly in the past. And you've been sucked dry in the past. Now you guys, every time there is something good coming in your way, you guys are like, you're using a lens or you're using a perspective of your past person to see the relationship that you're in the now. You guys are now being depicted by the Page of Wands. That means that right now you're giving into a wild heart Sagittarius type of thing who says hello to a new adventure. It's a very, very innocent, playful attitude, if that makes sense. Yep, you do have like a beautiful offer coming through, you know, in this month of September. I mean, it's in the present card, so if it's not happening now, it's going to happen like really, really soon. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, ta-da! Or you could be dealing with a King of Cups, or King of Cups is water sign, what is it? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You could be dealing with a water sign, earth sign too, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. You could be dealing with an air sign. It's Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Aries. Air sign, fire sign too, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius though. So you could be dealing with any sign because this is a general reading. Why do I keep doing this to myself? But yeah, I feel like there is someone here who you kind of like is interested in some levels, but you are not very, very emotionally available to, if that makes sense. So it makes you kind of like giddy giddy. It makes your heart skip a beat. It makes you kind of like feel kind of like excited at some points, like hello. But also at the same time, you guys are the Page of Cups in reverse, so you're not emotionally receptive in here. Okay? Let's see the future before I comment on that, because... no. Why? Why though? Why? This has got to be the first Sagittarius reading that resonates with me. Because usually I resonate with my Venus sign, which is Aquarius. But since I'm dealing with an Aquarius, I feel like now I'm becoming a Sagittarius. Okay, at the bottom of your deck, you have the High Priestess and you also have the Magician. Okay, let's see. You know, if you're dealing with a new person in here, if you're dealing with someone who you feel like very, very unique, someone who kind of like erupt that childish nature of you, the child, you know, Sagittarius always carries their child. Inner child, I mean, not their child, their inner child. You always carry your inner child within, right? Something that just makes you feel very, very playful, something that makes you feel kind of like burst with tons of ideas about what you want to do with them, something that just makes your fire starting again, you know. They're kind of like is there for a keeper. Why? Because this person is the Star card. So this person emotionally is not as fucked up. Yeah. And then this person is way much more emotionally stable and available and secure than you are in the now. So, Page of Cups in reverse, and then you're dealing with the King of Cups. So it's like them are actually kind of like better in you in terms of energy in the now. Okay. So if you do happen to meet someone who kind of like makes your heart skip a beat, it makes you feel very, very Sagittarius, go for them. Why? Because in the future, if they sense that this is kind of like things has been standing on an uneven keel, they're gonna kind of like withdrawn a little bit. Why? Because this person is very secure. Once someone is very, very secure with themselves, they know their worth, right? And if they feel like you're not putting in the effort that they want you to make, and if they feel kind of like underappreciated, and if they feel like you're kind of like a little bit too young at heart and says I do in every new adventure and everything like that, or you're kind of like too showy, they're going to kind of like withdraw a little bit with this, what is it, Four of Pentacles. But I feel like you want to charge anyway, because you have the Eight of Wands in here. So I feel like love life, it's going to happen like really, really fast for you. You just want to kind of like chat them. You just want to hang out more with them. You just want everything to happen really, really fast, whereas they are kind of like very, very stable, so they're taking their slow damn ass time, if that makes sense. You have the Strength card, so the month of September kind of like calls you to be a little bit more patient when things progressing kind of like slow. We're in Virgo seasons anyway. Virgo seasons is kind of like Jupiter is expansive, Virgo season is kind of like slow, methodological, and everything like that. So it calls you to exercise a lot of your patience. I understand you want things to kind of like move quickly. You really want to know where you stand in their life and everything like that, but be a little bit patient, okay? Be a little bit patient, because it's actually good. You have the High Priestess. This person is morally is already good. They want to work things out with you, especially with the Ten of Wands in here. You have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands always have a directions in here. So it's like they are very, very emotionally available with you. They are already secure, and they kind of like love you. Almost. They're already there even before you do. They love you more than you do love them, by the way, just saying. And I know that you're going to get like a lot of hate comments in the comment section bashing Sagittarius, but that's kind of like what I see. They love you more than you love them. You guys are more playful. They're already here, okay? And them are kind of like a lot wiser than you in a way that they would understand that the road ahead is going to be bumpy and not really like a smooth sailing, but they're willing to do the work even though it's going to kind of like hurt their ego a little bit, if that makes sense, Sagittarius. So it's actually good. Oh, good. I really wish I'm going to resonate with Sagittarius this time. Please, please. But be a little bit patient though, because I feel like there's like a lot of things that is holding you back into taking that giant leap of faith. As if like you want to kind of like buy time a little bit, because you want to be careful with the Moon card here, because if it's either you feel like it's too good to be true, or there's just some things that was not straightened up that kind of make you wishy-washy, because you did have like multiple options in the past. So even in the future, you guys are kind of like wishy-washy, and yeah. You guys are kind of like wishy-washy because you does depend so much so on your brain. So much so on your brain. And although deep down inside you want things to evolve faster, but you just cannot push it. Like you need to kind of like, if you really want this person, you need to kind of like be on the same level as them, to be a little bit more patient, and know that to build a stable relationship, it takes like a lot of work and a lot of sacrifices and a lot of compromises as well, Sagittarius. And although you feel like it's going to kind of like hurt their ego, but if you feel like this person is worthy of everything, because this person does have like a lot of healing powers for you. If you think that this person is worthy, well, it's kind of like okay to kind of like sacrifice a little bit and compromise a little bit, as long as they're doing the same. As long as, okay, highlight that point, as long as they're also doing the same, as long as they are standing in the same page as you guys are, okay? It kind of is okay for you to take that giant leap of faith. because things are not actually as horrible as it was in the past. You guys are now just dealing with the PTSD moment of the horrible thing that was happening in the past, if that makes sense. But actually, they're really willing to work it out with you, but they wanted to take it slow. 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 They're also going to kind of like teach you a lesson about responsibilities when it comes to relationship. To not move very, very fast, to not create like a lot of fantasies and illusions inside of your head, to not just say, oh, we're going to do this, but actually doing the work, if that makes sense. Okay? So I guess that's it for my reading for you guys. I'm going to be doing the bi-weekly, so thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.